Ms. Ratnasri, please. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Miss Disha. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, distinguished dignitaries, and the valued audience. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all to the seventh session of the prestigious Faculty Development Program 2023 conducted by the Faculty of Management Studies, Sabaragamu University of Sri Lanka in collaboration with Emerald Publishing. First and foremost, I am honored to welcome Professor Atula Nyanapala, Dean, Faculty of Management Studies, Sabaragamu University of Sri Lanka. Next, I express my warm welcome to Professor Satish Kumar, Professor in Finance and Accounting area, Chairperson PhD program at the Indian Institute of Management, Nagpur, India, and he is the resource person for today's session on academic networking. With great respect, let me also welcome Professor Devasiri and Chayantha, Chairperson of the FDP, Faculty of Management Studies, Sabaragamu University of Sri Lanka. With gratitude, I also welcome Ms. Disha Lakkanpal, Chief Organizer of the FDP, representing Emerald Publishing. I would like to welcome Ms. Kaushalyani Ruandika, Coordinating Secretary of the FDP, Ms. Dimuthu Vijayaratna, Assistant Secretary of the FDP, and all the distinguished participants from Sabaragamu University of Sri Lanka and Emerald Publishing. In addition to our distinguished guests, we are equally delighted to have valued participants, mainly academics from all the universities worldwide, researchers, corporate managers, and administrative staff from various corners of the world for this remarkable online webinar series. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to all of you and wish you a productive and enlightening session. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, I would like to introduce the main speaker of today's session, and it's a great pleasure for me to announce him. Let me allow reading his great profile. Dr. Satish Kumar is a professor in finance and accounting area and chairperson PhD program at the Indian Institute of Management, Nagpur, India. He has over 19 years of teaching and research experience at Management Institute of Repute in India and abroad. Dr. Kumar obtained his doctorate from the Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee in 2012. He has also qualified for Junior Research Fellowship in 2007. His teaching and research interests include corporate finance, financial management, supply chain finance, small business finance, corporate governance, consumer economics, systematic literature review, and bibliometric analysis. He has over 150 research publications in his credit, with work appearing in journals such as FT50, A-Star, A category of ABDC journal ranking, and high impact factor journals. His research has appeared in A-Star journals such as International Journal of Research in Marketing, Journal of Service Research, Journal of Corporate Finance, International Journal of Information Management, and A category journals such as British Journal of Management, Corporate Governance and International Review, International Marketing Review, European Financial Management, Management International Review, Journal of Business Research, Financial Review, Journal of Small Business Management, Small Business Economics, International Journal of Advertising, European Journal of Finance, International Journal of Accounting Information Systems, Public Management Review, Small Group Research, Journal of Consumer Affairs, International Journal of Bank Management, and International Journal of Managerial Finance, amongst others. His research work has Google citations of 16,999 with HN I10 indexes of 69 and 173 respectively. He is an associate editor of leading business and finance journals such as Electronic Commerce Research, International Review of Financial Analysis, Research in International Business and Finance, International Journal of Logistics Management, Journal of Consumer Behavior, Qualitative Research in Financial Markets, Global Business and Organizational Excellence, and Journal of Asia Business Studies. Professor Kumar has been awarded with the Devang Mehta Best Professor in Financial Management in 2016 and AIMS International Best Researcher Award in 2018, amongst others. 11 PhD students so far have completed their doctoral research with Dr. Satish Kumar, and he has also done 5 sponsored research and consultancy projects. So, here onwards, the platform is yours, sir. Over to you.
Okay, thank you. I hope I'm audible.
Yes,
Right.
sir,
Yes,
you
sir,
are
very
audible.
clearly.
Yeah, thank you, Shanika, for elaborating, reading of my profile. And first of all, wish you a very happy new year to all the panelists, and Professor Atula, Dean, Jayanta, Professor Jayanta, Shanika, and Disha from Emerald Publishing. It's a wonderful opportunity to connect with the academician on New Year, especially on the very first week, and sharing what we little know, and more is learning about it actually. So topic of today webinar is academic collaboration, or what we call is networking, which is a very important area, but mostly neglected by academician, because sometimes you don't see the power of academic networking. So with that note in mind, so I have a very short presentation, few bullets point for you to sharing, and we can dwell into Q&A session accordingly, as we move on from the presentation. So let me move my presentation. So first is, as I said, it's a time to greet, and to start that, we are entering into 20, we have already entered in 2024. So I wish a very productive and very healthy and prosper new year to all the panelists and the, scholars, faculty members, across geographies who are participating in this webinar series. Now, the topic is, what is academic networking? This is very, very important. So what do we understand by academic networking? Is it all about going conferences and delivering a talk, or presenting our paper, or is it doing an online meeting, or connecting to someone by LinkedIn? Is that cover, the definition of, academic networking? So for this presentation, I was searching some stuff on, that, that what is academic networking, and I found this very simplest definition which can comprehend what actually academic networking means. It's all linkages of people from education related community. Remember, it's not only education and related community, and the purpose is collaborating, and the objective is very common. So we are meeting for a common objective as we are gathered here in this webinar. So our purpose is, a very common for all of us. We want to understand what is academic networking. So same way is academic networking is linking of people from, academia or education background or related community, which are part of maybe publisher, like, Emerald is partnering this, FDP series. So that's also part of your, definition of academic networking. Second very important question is why academic networking? Okay, so as we say, we oftenly hear scholars, senior scholars, letting us know that, networking has become, among us other skills, it's another important skill which you as an academician, early career scholar, or a PhD student must inculcate. I'm using the word must here because it pays off you, when you go in academia for long in your academic life. So you will believe that there is a power of networking, and I have something to talk about why academic networking is here. So I have 4 or 5 points here. So first, obvious reason why you should do networking and why academic networking is important: it improves your scholarship. So you remember, we all are publishing, researching, and all are creating new knowledge. So when we are creating new knowledge, we go back to the literature and try to see the people who have worked on that particular domain, area, or similar area. So when you read their work and connect with them, It helps you to improve your scholarship. That's why academic networking is critical. You need to know who is the stalwart of my area. It may be a method, it may be a topic, it may be a theory, or it may be something more than that, the construct or theory which you are talking about. So this is very, very important, that when you want to improve your scholarship, you need to talk about networking. You need to refer the work of people. So it's not only that I'm talking to someone, then only academic networking is there. It is also when I'm referring their work, reading their work, connecting with them, that also is a part of my academic networking. So first point and first rationale or first reasoning why academic networking is there, first of all, it improves academic, your scholarship. Second, obviously, your research is not only for your personal consumption, right? It's for the use of people who will be further citing your work or further will be using it. So for that purpose also you need to network. Okay, so if I have written a paper on a particular construct, method, theory, or a particular idea, I need to tell the people, okay, apart from conferences and journal, I need to tell the scholars, leading scholar of my area, that okay, this is what something I have done. So that is where the academic networking will benefit you, and you will be connecting with people through LinkedIn or maybe through email, or you will be contacting them in conference, or any other academics scholarship like this which we are currently doing in a webinar form. So that is another reason why academic networking is required. Third important point is, obviously all of you will agree, this is very obvious, that it allows you to connect a large number of people and you build your contacts. So it's not only accepting the LinkedIn request and, Facebook or Meta request or following somebody on Twitter. It is basically when you do academic networking carefully, you are able to connect with, peer PhD scholars. Let's say you are a PhD scholar, early career researcher with their peer, and including even big names. So I have covered few myths of networking, also a few important tips. There I will talk about this particular aspect again, but nevertheless, the power of networking lies in that you are able to now build your body of contacts with large number of people in that community, specific community, or maybe large community, depending upon your interest of academic networking is. And I think the last point is very, very important, and this is very true for academician who are doing their PhD. I'm sure there are many PhD students, so those who are attending this webinar, and even early career scholar. Imagine PhD is like you and your work only. So for your own mental well-being, as I put a asterisk over, especially for doctoral student, we feel generally stressed out because we are not connected with somebody. So when you are networking with people, so you can talk, you can discuss. It also includes talking to your supervisor, talking to your peer, talking to the people in the other institution, in the same institution, or boundaryless world which we are currently living into. So where for mental well-being, this is very, very important. Otherwise, most of the time you might have heard, or you might have experienced also, if you are already crossed that stage of from PhD scholar to early career faculty or even a seasoned faculty, scholars comes to you that they are not mentally not feeling mentally stressed. One reason is that when you network, you can discuss, you can share your experiences, you can share your concern, or you can talk to the people, and it helps you to what we call is this term own mental well-being. So when we go into academic network, maybe let's say I visit a conference, and I talk to people, and I got a confidence that whatever I'm doing as a PhD scholar is going into right direction. So for a mental well-being, it is very, very required that you should do academic networking. Now the question is, are you attending in-person conferences or virtual conferences or a webinar series like this, or just talking to the people on LinkedIn? There may be many way of doing that academic networking. Each of the method has their advantages, disadvantages. So depending upon, let's say, even writing an email to a senior scholar in your area can sometimes help you to maintain your mental well-being. So for that purpose also you need to do the networking. One very important point, I was reading HBR article when I was preparing for this session. Usually networking was considered into business only. But nowadays in academia also, networking has become a very common rule. A rule in the sense that when I'm saying rule is that, it has a power, it has a benefit. For example, if you are a early career scholar or, just finishing your PhD, and if you know five people in your domain or in your area of work, then it will help you in one or another form, which I'm going to talk about and this is where I was talking why sometime academic networking is important for, especially when you want to grab your first job. You don't know the person can be referee to whom with you are working. So that's another reason. For example, the scholar who work with their supervisor, they give the name of their supervisor in their CV. But along with that, if you have more than one person with whom you have worked as a, could be a senior scholar or could be a professor of repute or maybe somebody from industry who has a keen interest in working with scholars or in academician, that can help you. Similarly, we know that in business there is a power of referencing. Similar is the power in academia also nowadays. If you want to shift your career later after grabbing your first job, academic networks may help you. You go to conferences, you meet people there, you meet dean of the school there, director of the institution there, professor over there, senior scholar, head of the discipline. So when you go and do academic networking, whether virtually or whether physically, it can help you. So this is another case of why academic networking is required and why one should venture into academic networking. So if I'm writing a paper, publishing a paper, that's okay. That's definitely okay. People will know me. But it's also my duty that that paper is published. Whether that paper got some critics, whether people are using it or not, academic networking can help me to get that feedback mechanism, and then build on my network, which can help me when I graduate as a PhD student to get my first job. So here, my point is very clear that those scholars who invest during their PhD time into academic network may land into, I'm using a word may because I don't have statistics to tell you that eventually this will lead to this, but generally it is seen that when you say that I know a ex scholar and I'm working in somebody, leading scholar in that area, it may help you during that process of, venturing into academic life. And later, when you want to change your academic career from one institution to another, again, academic network can help you. The dean of the school, probably, to whom you have worked last year or last to last year, may help you. That is another reason why academic networking is very, very critical. So these are the 5 points which I just thought are critical point, which help us to set the tone of why academic networking is required. So this is okay, but the question is how to develop. This is $1 million question, and how to keep this ball rolling. Actually, that is the important issue. Because let me tell you, I was reading multiple articles, even published on this topic, like academic networking and power of academic networking in some of the journal which are related to education and all. Over there, one of the common theme is that people are hesitant to network. There are many factors. It could be your personality factor, or you like, you don't have an experience, so you thought, what value I will offer when I will talk to someone. But I have some tips over here, which I try to grab from here and there, and from my experience of academic networking over last few years with some of the leading scholar of my area. These are some tips which can may be helpful for you to develop your academic networking. So first tips which I'm going to offer here is this, which may be known to all of us, but imagine it has very, very powerful. So all the leading scholars, they talk about this. If you go to Academy of Management, Society of Operation Management, Informs, POMS, AIS, or all those, AMA, American Marketing Association, International Business, International, American Finance, Conference, INDAM, which is a Indian originated, version of Academy of Management. Similarly, PAN-IM, or many other, such bodies which which are prominent from your area. I will advise you as a PhD scholar or early career scholar, if you have not done it, do it right now. Okay, so and as we say, there is no a wrong time to do the right things. Do it right away. Please join some of the association or learned society of your interest. Your interest, you know better. If you are from finance, probably American Finance Association or Asia Finance Corporation or Indian Finance, conference may society may help you. Join those societies, join those association which are flagship organization in your area. You need to identify that. This is very, very important. I'm using 3 times very, very here, very deliberately, because PhD scholars sometimes miss this bus. They are just into their PhD, and particularly they are not trained. You see, the first starting point is this only: join an association. Okay, it could be a professional body, it could be a society, it could be a society of your area of interest. You know your interest, you know your area. If you are from AI information system, so search what are the leading association or societies on information system and management. Join. Okay, become a student member over there. Right. Later, it will be very easy. And let me tell you, let me insist you and help you in, some of them are paid, some of them are free membership for students. Even if it is paid, do not consider it as an expense. As we say in finance, it is an investment which will give you a return. Maybe you don't know how it will pay you off. So my suggestion and tips number one, if I have to offer, is join association or society if you have not done it. Now, joining is not enough. Do not be a passive member. So just take a membership and just sit down. No, become an active member, join their webinar series and join their workshop series. Like I remember, I am a member of a Association of International Business. They every alternate week, or once in a month, or twice in a once in 2 months, they organize some workshop on method or some concept or some particular area related or domain specific. Join them, you will get the benefit of it. So there, lot of senior scholars or peer you will meet online or offline, right? So do not become a passive member just by saying, writing in your CV that I have a membership of American Marketing Association. What is your contribution? The next question will be what you have done, what you have gained from that AMA. You should be able to speak when you will be talking to your employer, your dean, or your next collaborator or next academic partner for your so if you say you are also a member and I am also a member of same association, so my next obvious question is, what are you contributing to that particular association or society? So don't be a passive member, try to be active member, look for opportunity. Opportunity will never come to you. You need to search for opportunity. There are abundance of opportunity where even a early career PhD scholar can also contribute to those societies by various ways, which I'm going to talk in next of the points which I'm going to talk. So first tip is join an association. As if you have not done it right now, please do it today itself. Make sure in a new year, your first resolution in first week should be this, that join an association, professional body or society of your area of interest which you have. Second, when you join that association, make sure that you get involved into conferences, right? So now here a very important point which I wanted to highlight is that plenty of these association, for example AIB, AMA, Academy of Management, or any other AIS, or all those bodies, they do every year one leading conference or flagship conference. Please get involved into them physically or virtually. Now, when I'm saying get involved to these conferences, doesn't mean that you go and present a paper and come back. No, that's not academic networking. You should do more than that, because conferences bring people, scholars together and connect the scholar from globe. You won't be able to find people like what you find in these mega conferences. For example, Academy of Management, which attracts more than 5,000, 10,000 scholars every year in US, right? Similarly, AIB, American Marketing Association, and so on and so forth, right? So please make sure that you get involved to them. have a plan for next 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. Okay, maybe you are into first year of your PhD or last year of your PhD or just started your academic life. Make sure you plan that, okay, by next 2 or 3 year, I will be doing one conference of Academy of Marketing or Academy of Management, whatever the academy you are part of it. So please be involved into those conferences. And why you need to go there, I need not to talk about this point, that it's an opportunity for you to communicate your research to the outside your school. So when you are a PhD scholar, only your school member, your peer know what are you doing. Only through conferences, leading conferences, I'm talking about those society which I talked in point number 1, right? You have an opportunity to tell what I'm doing. You have also an opportunity to listen and learn what others are doing in same field or similar field. That is the advantage, you should take it. Apart from other layer, travel, and enjoying the places, meeting new people, these are the value you should be taking from when you join. So this is the very important thing. So if you look at the senior scholar, leading scholar from your area, your topic, your method, you will find them in one or another conference every year or alternate year. Sometimes it is not possible to go every year, so they come once in 2 year or so. So make sure you plan it, and good conferences are rolled out a year or maybe more than a year early. For example, Academy of Management just concluded in August or July. They already announced that where 2024 version will happen. So website is ready, visit website, who is going to come, who are going to be, speaker, who are going to be panelists over there, who are going to offer some workshop. It's an opportunity for you to learn a lot. Conferences do have value, but the point which I wanted to make is that invest in the right conferences very carefully and then see the power of networking. And another important point you need to look into when you say you start, like for example, 2024, I decided to go to Academy of Management. So today only I should start thinking about with whom I'm going to meet. So you see the panelist is already there, people are already there. Once the program is rolled out, write to those people by email. Okay, you are also coming to this AMA, I'm also coming. Can we have an opportunity to meet in person? Fix a meeting, be proper systematic. I'll talk about this particular issue also. To be a very systematic academic networker, you need to be plan very carefully. So you need to not only book your tickets, book your hotel, and just go and present your work and come back by visiting some places, but you need to take more advantage of academic networking during those conferences. Okay, not only this, third important point which I wanted to highlight is that take up workshops and other knowledge sharing session. For example, this, right, which we are attending right now. So it's a knowledge sharing session which I am doing. I have an opportunity to, meet now here, network almost 125 people who are attending. More than that, in fact, as I'm speaking, number is going up. So this is an opportunity, and workshop you should venture into. What is the difference between attending a conference and attending a workshop? Is that workshop are more focused, highly intense, and you need more hard work to be done as compared to conferences. You are parallel many track and all that happens over there, but in a workshop you have to prepare well. And also, second point is very, very important. Write to the school's dean, scholars, PhD scholars, peer to whom, let's say you met somebody in 2024 in Boston, in AMA. So, and you met a PhD scholar from US school or UK school. Write an email to him or her that, okay, I'm working on this area. Is there any opportunity where I can present my work online, if not offline? I understand that, offline requires investment of money, also investment of, other thing also. But don't constrain yourself with that. Okay, you have an opportunity of this technology which we are using, right? I'm sitting in India and people are participating from, I believe, many continents when I'm speaking. So this is the another way, thanks to COVID, which has brought this technology which we are using on forefront now, especially for training and skilling purposes. So make sure that you also take up some workshop and other knowledge sharing opportunity. For example, just concluded, just to give an example, in I am Nagpur, we had a conference, 15th or 16th of December, IFIP, which is a a very important conference of information system group, working group. So it was 8.6 working group conference here. We had leading scholar, leading editor, editor in chief of top tier journal. They had a workshop here. So everybody who visited those conferences, they had opportunity to attend those workshop also. Apart from conferences, there are separate workshop also, as I was talking to you. When you will become member of any society or professional body, you will see that time to time do those workshops, join them. And if you know some skill, like for example, I know systematic literature view or bibliometry, or let's say SCM, PLS, or any other method, qualitative method, prepare yourself and offer to the world. Let me tell you, more knowledge you share with people, you will become more master. And that is the motto you always need to bear in mind, especially PhD student. And it is an opportunity to showcase what scholar know about that particular area. And you also learn along with that. So for example, there may be some participant in this particular webinar only, those who have more experience than me in academic networking. They can also contribute provided the platform is there. But if it is a workshop, you had a great opportunity to master what you know and take it to the next level before you launch yourself officially as a trainer or as an academician in academic world. So make sure that you use these tips very carefully. Number 4, this is very, very important. I think I need not to highlight it. Make sure you have a presence on social media. Having said that, you need to invest your time carefully on social media, because sometimes it can derail your whole energy and time. Okay, and you will find most of the academicians, they be either on LinkedIn, Meta, X, or ResearchGate. So another opportunity to network is connect with them, right? And also, through social media, you have an opportunity to showcase not only to academic world, because you have people from industry, people from practice, people from policy making, ministers are there, secretaries are there, chief secretaries are there, bureaucrats are there. You have an opportunity to tell what are you doing, connect with them. So develop your social media presence. Now you need to take a very cautious call how much time you will be investing, but be active. As I'm saying, don't just follow people, just be active over social media. Now, how much active will be depends upon how much time and energy you can devote. Make sure in a week you decide, okay, 1 hour I will write some stuff, share it on my LinkedIn and ask for feedback. I will share it on ResearchGate and ask for feedback. I will write it on Meta or X platform and I will ask for feedback. I will see what people are doing, okay, what leading academicians are doing. And nowadays, even journal, okay, they are on all social media, which whatever is written over here, LinkedIn, especially LinkedIn, Meta, and X. So they have their presence. So before a paper becomes, online, you have an opportunity when paper got accepted, many of the journal post it on, social media. So make sure you have your presence on the social media, because we are living in a digital age, and digital is something which we cannot ignore. So make sure one way through which you can network is through social media, and social media has plenty of power. Probably you may not have visited to the place where your network is sitting, but you have an opportunity to talk, communicate, share, and discuss, discourse whatever you know about a particular topic, theme, theory, method, whatever you are into. So this is my tips number 4 to all of you. Tips number 5. Now, this is very, very important, especially, when you're talking about this point is in connection with the point number 2 or point number 3, which I was talking to you. Increase your participation over the time, right? So possibly if you have submitted paper last year and you were not successful, doesn't mean you should not submit your paper this year. Or you have attended conference last year, does not mean this year you should skip it on, right? Depending upon resources availability, time availability, make sure you increase your participation over time. So some of the leading scholars, they do not miss even a single version of that Academy of Management conference. So they go every year, irrespective. They block their calendar well in advance. They schedule their teaching accordingly. They make their all other plan, and they make sure that they attend it. Obviously, when you go to one place, it has an opportunity cost. Make sure that opportunity cost is paying you well. So I'm talking in terms of finance language now. So you need to be very, very careful, because if you go once in 10 years, and then people will 10 year people will change, network will change. So make sure you increase your participation. If you are not presenting a paper, you can go as an attendee also. Good conferences allow you that if you don't have paper as a successful presenter, you can go as an attendee, register and go there, network people, attend session, or whatever the that registration offer you, take a leverage of that also. Another thing, participation is propose yourself as a reviewer for that conference. Like Academy of Management, AIB, American Marketing Association, they all ask, nominate yourself as a reviewer, panel member, workshop, as I was talking, the point number 3 or 4, like workshops, knowledge sharing sessions. So you can say, oh, I know a method. I wanted to do a, SIG, or, you can join that committee and contribute. So increase your participation. One is joining those forums. Joining will help you to create your network, but how to sustain that, that is also very, very important in academic world. Because academic world is also crowded like any other world. Plenty of researcher, plenty of PhD scholars, every years attending conferences, going to job market, so many universities, so many faculty members. So you need to make your presence every time. Maximum time you need to increase your participation. So this is my tips number 5, which when I talk to my network, they say, sometime maybe because of some pressing need, you may not be able to attend it, but make sure that you increase your participation as you grow older in your network. Sixth, very, very important, nurturing your network. This is very, very critical. Creating a network is very easy, calling somebody on LinkedIn and, writing an email. But then nurturing is very, very critical. And most of the people fail here, because one possible reason is that they do not have some value to offer. So make sure that you invest wisely in your network, right? Let us say you met somebody in Academy of Management conference, come back, write an email. Tell what you have learned from that meeting. What are the agenda you can propose based on your careful homework? So before writing, before connecting back, make sure that you do homework, right? So invest in time, work on multiple projects with your network member. That way you can sustain and nurture your network. You get to know about people more. Maintain connections. Okay, creating connection is okay, but maintaining them is also equally important. Pay attention to, what your network is looking for. If you have some skill set, offer immediately that I can be helpful for you. Maybe not as an author, but as an acknowledgement, your name can go. Do not always look for tangible outcome from that academic network. Sometimes you have to look at intangible network also, intangible, benefit also. And as I said a few minutes back, academic networking is not an expense, it is an investment. Though it requires time and other thing, but you need to invest it, because you don't know 5 year, 2 year, 3 year down the line, that can pay off you. You don't know the same person babysitting in your selection board or promotion board. So make sure that you maintain those connections. Follow up with your connection on social media, comment on there. I'm not saying comment for the sake of commenting, but if you really things fall with your expertise, offer some comment over there. Appreciate what they are doing if they are really doing good. Absolutely. So gratitude is the best attitude, as we say. So you need to do that. Keep sharing your working paper with those network. That is another way through which you can nurture your network, networking. So it's not only when your paper will be finished, maybe when your paper is working, you can send someone and can refer that we met there in that academy conference, and or some workshop. Can you offer some feedback? This is the way through which you can nurture your network, because networking is like, trust building exercise. You need to, it will take time, and it will pay you off when you will, wisely invest your time. Talk about yourself and listen carefully what others are telling you when others are telling you something. This is also very, not only speak, have a habit of listening also. and make sure you come back and summarize that and share back with the same network person that this is what we have discussed. It will also have an opportunity to showcase that how serious you are about that networking, what you have discussed maybe in Chicago when you met somebody in person, and when you come back and write an email that this was what I have done, or on any other social media platform, and you acknowledge that person, I met him over there, we discussed these are my learning. This will be an opportunity of what I just referred as trust building exercise. Maybe you are not immediately working with that particular network on any of the project. Down the line, maybe 1 year, 2 year, or so on and so forth. So this is my tips number 6 for you. Next tip is, very, very important. Offer editorial services. Editorial work requires a lot of time investment and it does not pay you anything directly, but intangible benefits are many, plenty. Let me tell you, I am currently associated, as my profile was being read, I'm associated with 5, 6, journals. Let me tell you very carefully. I have never approached any of the editor with formal application for that you appoint me as an AE. All of them have offered me this position. They came to me, Satish, can you be part of our team? And that's the joy you always get when somebody is coming, a leading scholar is coming to you and asking you, can you join our team and help us in growing that? Because they observe, senior scholar observe you. If you are doing something good, they will observe you and they will come back to you. Because everybody needs, it's a team exercise, it's not an individual. As I always say, research, publication, academic community, it's not teaching you have to do alone. It's a research and publication and all that requires you to go in group. So you have to create your network. And as we say, network is net worth nowadays. Your best net worth nowadays is not money, is not the package which you are taking. It's your network, academic network. What academic network you are carrying, which group you are part of, what academic group you belongs to, what are the people in your academic network, that decides your net worth actually nowadays. And this is a very, very serious discussion nowadays in academic world also. Who is working with who are their people with whom they are working to. I'm not saying anything who is working with whom, I'm not questioning anybody, but I'm saying is that when you work, you can start by doing this. Propose yourself as a reviewer, right? Create your CV, create your LinkedIn profile, right over there, I am available for reviewing, right? Create your profile on the journal pages like Manuscript Central of, Emerald Journal. Offer that you are available for review, right? When you will get review, and it is a way of first baby step for networking. I think best networking start from there when you start connecting with editors, associate editor, and editorial board. And let's say you have a good idea for a special issue, let's say on COVID, post-COVID, or anything financial inclusion, financial crisis, whatever topic you are doing. You can guest edit a special issue. You can guest edit a special issue with senior scholar. So if you have already academic networking, you can do that. That is only possible when you are offering some editorial services. Become a member of editorial review board or editorial advisory board. These are two separate set of bodies, which works under a journal setting. In somewhere it is editorial advisory board, somewhere it is editorial review board. That's how they induct you. So you take one step and you reach to the last level where you say that you become AE, section editor, or editor-in-chief. Editor-in-chief has to pass the baton to someone else. And who will be the next person? Only the person to whom they work, network, whom they trust, right? They can recommend your name to other journal also. Okay, Mr. X and Y is so good, you can offer him this position. And nowadays, editor-in-chief selection also happens like this only. Some of the journals ask for application like Emerald asked for, or Elsevier asked for, or Wiley asked for, but maximum time it is by network, academic network. And only the member, those who are part of associate editor, senior editor team, they are promoted to the editor-in-chief position. As editor-in-chief, recommend this is the guy, This is the man, this is the academician you can trust. Also, when you offer your editorial services, it's an opportunity to know what ideas people are working before it gets published. Imagine I'm reviewing a paper on financial inclusion and very novel index has been created. So I got to know before it is published. So that's my knowledge enhancement also. So as a scholar, as an academician, that's another way of enhancing your knowledge. What's going on? What's new going on in the field? You can only get through editorial services. And it also helps you to develop critical assessment of work. When you become a reviewer, you are like a detective, like you are looking at the paper from various point of view. Your paper, you will always feel proud, but same paper given to say reviewer can brutally give you some comment. So that is the point. You wear that hat of a reviewer and try to understand the other's viewpoint. So it's an opportunity, good opportunity to do academic networking. So given a chance, if you have been asked and invited by any editor to review a paper for their journal, never say no. Unless and until you have a very pressing reason, you are not keeping well, you don't have time, you are into last year of your PhD, right? Or you are writing your thesis, or you are too pressed with some work, then only say no. Otherwise, say yes, be open to be. This is a very good way of becoming, creating your academic network or network, as I was talking. Next important point is, be realistic. This is very, very important. Everybody you meet does not convert to be part of your team member as a author or as a, academic network. So not every conversation lead to great result. Do not make snap decision and rule out certain individuals as not useful. Try. When you will try, then only you will get to know. You may have a bitter experience of working with them. Forget it. Move on. Okay, you have, the world is full of good people, world is full of other type of people also, not so good people. I will not say bad, right? So, keep on, just leave, okay? Have experience. If you don't have good experience or not so good experience, move on. You have plenty of people to network. If networking makes you feel dirty, you are not the alone. Let me tell you, some of you who might have tasted this field of networking, that I had a very bad experience of working with some group or some individual, then you are not the alone. Remember, because it's a trial and error approach. You don't know. You don't know who is the next person, what is the personality. When you work closely with that person, academician, then only you get to know what is the personality of that person, what is the mindset, all those issues you get to know then only. But don't worry about it. Be realistic. You need to know what is the value you are looking in that academic networking. You should be very clear in your mind, and you should also communicate with your academic network partner with whom you are networking. This is also very, very important. Why? Because I have seen in many cases people, join team and then they pull back at themselves from that particular team because they say, I don't have that type of, way of style of working. So be realistic, try, give a try, because you won't be able to. I have a point where I will be talking about it more. Please make sure that you don't put those targets or those expectation that which are not realistic. Okay, it may work, it may not work. Be ready for that. So as the point is saying, if you are feeling dirty about that networking, you are not the alone. There are plenty of people who have felt it, but keep on moving. As I said, go for next opportunity. Very, very important. Okay, so make sure that you develop your social media presence. Okay, because you will find, as I've already told you, networking can go beyond academic circle also. And be active, have something interesting to say, and be yourself. Do not mimic others, right? So you are method specialist, just talk about that method. Okay, don't talk, don't venture into anything which you don't know, which you don't have command on it, right? So write some reflection, write some commentary, offer some suggestion. That should be your way of working. So as we said, point number over there, why we were talking about, so develop your social media presence. And as I was talking to you, please be mindful how much time you will be devoting on it and when you will be devoting it. Just joining social media platform and then not contributing there is also sometimes a bad signal. So you are a than passive member over there. Be a bit active member. How much active you will be will depend upon the how much breadth and you have for working on it. Right. So depends upon your time schedule, your stage also, or the kind of institution you are working or kind of people you are working along. Next point is, this is very, very important when you network. This is about nurturing and maintaining, concentrate on common goal and synergy effect. So always believe 1 plus 1 will be greater than 2, right? It could be 3, it could be 11 also, or it could be sometime more than 11 also for few people. So concentrate on that. Be very clear. Don't be just simply a fan because he's a great person. No, you know what you are talking about. Have a respect for your views, and you it's okay to disagree or agree on one particular point, provided you have a point to say with some theoretical background or some scholarship. When your networking is driven by shared interest, it will be more authentic, remember. So when you network and start working with people on common project, common interest, make sure that you set a value proposition. I'm using a word value proposition very, very clearly in first few meetings of your projects or the academic collaboration which you are working on. Then only your networking can go for long or you can meet that common goal. Otherwise, networking starts and sometimes you wasted your time and it doesn't result into anything. So that should be the point which you should be taking very carefully. I think I'm heading towards, last 2 points. First of all, do not neglect your peers. Sometimes you believe that only I should talk to big names, right? No, that's not the right way of networking. You should first network with your peer within your school. How many PhD scholar with whom you are working, faculty member with whom you are working. If you can work with those people, then only you will be comfortable working with others. Remember, if you can't work with your people at home, how can you work with somebody who is unknown to you outside that place? So make sure that never starts. Do not underestimate the power of your local peer group. It's not necessary that you always jump to other country scholars for leveraging your academic networking. No, that's not the right approach. Just try, because it will help you. As the point is talking horizontally, vertically, both way you should be networking within your institution and outside also. That should be your way of style of working. First, taste it. Are you really a team member? You may not be team member, probably. Your personality may not fit into. Just try there and then go outside, probably talk to big names, talk slowly, started talking about it. So do not neglect your peer group who is working with you. If you can work with the most difficult task I have observed in PhD scholars, especially is that, or early career researcher, they do not work with their home institution scholars. They just try to jump outside and try to find out network because they believe outside world is more good than my insider. No, please do not ignore your peer group inside your institution, inside your school, inside your university, wherever you are working. Please work with them also. Then only you learn how to fail, and then what are the tips you should be working before you go somebody outside. Right? That should be the right way of academic networking. And this is very, very important. I think this is the last point I'm making here. Last tips here, don't be afraid to make first move. We are generally, I have seen in Asian author, right, or Asian academician, generally, especially I'm talking about PhD scholar. I'm not talking about seasoned scholar here. I'm talking about early career scholar and PhD who just joined the academia. They are very hesitant in writing to senior scholar or academician within the country also. My advice is take a first step. What will happen? At the most, person will not respond. That's not in your control. What is in your control? Write. But when you write, make sure you offer value proposition very clearly. What you are looking in that collaboration? What are you looking in that academic networking? That should be very clear in your mind. Not only in your mind, it should be communicated also. It's there in my mind, but I'm not able to communicate. Then how can anybody will be able to read your mind? So only way through which you will be developing a side skill which you need to develop when you are approaching someone is that you should be effective communicator also, right? So make sure that you write effectively. Do not just invite on a paper which is already done. That's bad way. I have seen many academician approaching me also. Project is done and they ask me, can you join this? No academic, no senior and serious academician will join such way unless and until you involve somebody from start. That is the mistake people sometimes make, and you tend to perceive that if one is not responding, it means he is not interested in my work. No, your approach may be wrong. That's why I've talked to you that I'm again emphasizing, when you approach somebody, when you make a first move, please do your homework carefully, right? Read the profile of that fellow, that academic collaborator to whom you are working, a network with you, whom you are going to create very carefully. See what what is his taste, what is his preferences in terms of research method, practices. If person is not working in qualitative space and you are proposing a qualitative method, then probably you will not get any success, and you will say person is not a person has not responded positively. So more rejection or more no in academic collaboration can also be demotivating, similar to more rejection in your publication. So make sure that you take a first step, but when you take your first step, you need to do your homework very carefully. That's another important point I wanted to tell you. And do and learn what works for you, and that may not be working for me. When you go and taste it, then you get to know what will work and what will not work. Something which may work for me may not work for you, but these tips which I have just shared with you, 11, 12, I think some of them may be repetitive. You already are doing it, but if you do your homework carefully when you academic network, I think you will be very happily able to convert that academic networking to the next level, where you invite collaborator and you start working with the team. But nevertheless, academic networking has a very powerful way of looking now into academia, as in earlier only in business we were talking about it. So I think that is the last slide I have. Thank you very much and happy networking. I'm open for some Q&A if we have any reflection on this. So that's all from my side as of now.
Thank you so much, Professor Kumar. I will give the audience a little more time. We have a few questions, but if anyone has any questions for Professor Kumar, please do take the opportunity to use him as your sounding board. If you have any questions, share it with him. He'll be able to share, the dearth of knowledge that he has. So hopefully, we're going to get a few more questions on the way. So the first question is, someone's thanking you for your presentation, and now they have said that there is sometimes the blank page syndrome that writers face. At that moment, they are unable to think what to write about. How do you think we can deal with that? Are there any tips to avoid it?
So as I'm saying, I think the last part where I was mentioning is do your homework carefully. If before writing, talk to someone who is experienced in academic networking. It could be the next person in your institution itself who is able to successfully do the same job. So do not hesitate to talk to someone who has already experienced that, and how they have resolved it. I think when you do your homework carefully, and when you know what value proposition you will be doing, I'm sure people will respond positively, and this syndrome you can avoid.
Thank you. Professor Devasri, any comments from you, sir?
Yeah, I totally agree with the comment made by Professor Satish. Yeah, thank you very much for
Okay.
your
Thank you.
insightful.
I think even for general, I think reading really makes you think about a lot of things. For me, even in my work, I think if I'm constantly reading, I'm constantly creating new ideas. So, you will never fall short of, I don't know, writing. I know I'm not a researcher and may not be able to comment mainly on the writing part, but definitely if you read a lot, then you are able to question a lot of things. And sometimes that really opens your thought process. So hopefully, if you ever fall into a blank page syndrome, please read, continue to read something. Hopefully that helps. Now we have someone who's in a little bit of a fix. They're a PhD student. I don't want to give any information that they have written here, but they have said that they have completed their work, they have drafted this thesis, and they have submitted it to their superior. But instead, they're saying of having receiving any constructive feedback, they are being scolded, or they are just getting comments on their capabilities. So they're saying that apart from a few grammatical mistakes, there is no good contribution into the work that they have submitted. They want to know how they can tackle this. What should they be doing? How should they
Yeah, so
proceed?
yeah, this is a very common challenge,
Yeah.
scholars, especially in Southeast Asia or South Asia, come across when they, into PhD program. But my advice is here is very simple, as one of the point which can help you sometime more than your supervisor or your thesis advisor, your peer can help you, right? So what we think that, okay, I don't want to share my work with my peer. Let's say me and Disha both are working together with same supervisor. It's very hard. I'm telling you with my experience and talking to hundreds of scholars, over last 15 year of active, disseminating knowledge sharing session like this or workshop. What they do, I hardly find anyone, Satish and Disha, working together. Even if they are from, working under same supervisor. Forget about, Jayanta, who may be working with her, another supervisor, is there. So first piece of advice is that, do not get demotivated by this phenomena that your supervisor or your advisor is not helping you. There is the role of, let me tell you this way. This may sound, very theoretical to you, but let me tell you, this is how I perceive this academic world. How, and actually, I see this. It's not only perceive, actually, I see this academic world. World is full of good people, right? What you need is only one person to help you. Can't you find a single person who can help you? Only if we are not able to find out, then the problem is in me rather than in the world actually. So I need to know, I need to go beyond my comfort zone, right? And start writing people, approaching people. We are hesitant, completely hesitant, I'm telling you, in writing people, because we already have some question in mind and answer in mind. What if Satish will not respond? So what? Let Satish not to respond. Go to Jayanta, go to Disha, or go to somebody else. Keep on writing until you get that one response which you are looking for. And I can tell you, word can't be so cruel that you can't find a single person who is ready to help you. Right? Please remember, in hypothesis building, you always start with a hypothesis. In academia also, you need to start with this hypothesis. Everybody can help me, unless and until proved otherwise, right? Then only you will refute this hypothesis that people are not good, they are not helpful. So don't get disheartened if your supervisor, your advisor, or your peer is not helping you. Go outside. Okay, go to ResearchGate, go to LinkedIn, look at the people, look at the references of your work which you are doing. Identify 5, 6, 10, 20, 15 people. Write email to them. Take some time. Send a soft reminder after 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks time. Right? Do not bother much of them. Wait for some time. Don't expect that they will return tomorrow only. You may be lucky that if they return quickly, sometimes it so happens that they are on the system and they are not busy. Understand they are also busy. Give them time. And I can tell you, if you can't find help in home, you can definitely find help in other home. Another home could be next institution, next scholar to you, peer group, or maybe somebody outside. And that is the importance of attending good academic body I have mentioned. If you have already joined Academy of International Business and you are a IB scholar, you meet hundreds of senior scholars who are so good in sharing their knowledge and helping. Our problem lies in with us, when we are not ready to approach them. We think that person will not respond. We start with this hypothesis only. You start with questioning mind. Don't start with questioning mind. Just go with a positive mindset that yes, in this particular word, beautiful word, there will be someone who will be ready to help me. You need 1% to get that help. And you are done with that.
Yeah, thank you very much for your insightful comment, Professor Satish. So I totally agree with your comment, and also I would like to add few points to the question raised. So we also across the same kind of situation in our academic journey. People, they are different, but it is all about managing people, how you manage the people and how you manage the change. So you should have that skill set, the personal behavior. You should be able to understand and you should react accordingly. So then only, as stated by Professor Satish, so we can manage the situation. So we cannot skip the situation as they are our supervisors, superiors. So you have to showcase that you are doing a good thing and that will add value for them as well. That is important.
Yeah, just to add on one more important point, is that, one point which I was mentioning, when mental well-being, why academic, networking is needed. I think this phenomena is very, and that's the point I have included, considering that, audience is coming from this part of the world where they actually face this, issue. First of all, don't get disheartened. Don't take any extreme step of quitting from PhD or, leaving academic world, or sometimes people make a big mistake also, Don't do that. Everybody has gone through with the same journey, right? It's your art. Just be patient, If let's say today you had some argument on some point with your supervisor or your advisor, do not try to fix it today. Give some time. Go after 1 week. Try after 15 days. By the time maybe the mood of the person or the thinking process will change. So do not press for solution immediately. Give time. And why you press for solution? Because you yourself procrastinate sometimes. And that is the important point. Give a ample space to your thesis advisor for reading, giving comment. Otherwise, you'll end up getting those comment only, editorial changes and all that stuff. Right. So make sure that you start early. And if even after you are facing this problem, I can understand that people may find this problem even after this particular thing. Don't worry about it. Actually, it's not a point which you yourself is only getting into. Many scholars have gone through. We say that this is a time which will pass. Actually, just wait for that right time to come. 15 days, 1 month, and then go to other scholar. And that is the power of social media. Going to conferences, talking to people, attending webinar. I'm sure there will be one person, as I said, I'm a strong believer. If you start thinking about looking for a help, definitely help will reach to you, provided your vibe should be positive. Start with positive vibes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The next question is, I have multiple people thanking you in the comments saying thank you so much for this wonderful session. The next question is, how can we approach the conference delegates for networking? How to know whether they will be interested in collaboration or not?
Yeah, that is first thing is that networking doesn't mean only collaboration. Right. Okay. So, do not become so objective and material in very first. You need to invest maybe 2 years. Let me tell you my example, and that may help some of you. Before I started a project with that professor in US, it took me almost 3 years. 3 years. I'm telling you, and very senior professor, I don't want to name him here for the purpose of anonymity, very senior scholar in finance area and very leading. He has published multiple FT50 and running, he's editor-in-chief of top tier journal where I have also published, and top tier journal, A star I'm talking about. It took me 3 years to convince him that I am worth working with him, right? So you need to invest. Do not keep on bouncing your idea. Let him not respond. That's his choice. But if you will keep on following, the idea is that, as I said when I was talking to you, maybe when you are approaching, one thing which is missing, which does not help you to, convert into what is called is that, collaboration or, co-author for your next project or next paper is that you do not talk about value proposition very clear, right? And do not just show your value proposition in very first email, right? Just tell him that, okay, we met there, this was wonderful, and I'm looking forward for more association with you. Give some time, sometime first, you may be lucky enough that you met person first time and you start working with him right away after 1 month. And sometimes you have to wait for 3 year, 5 year, 2 year, 1 year sometime. So time, you need to give time. If you will try to, you know, uh, try to reap the fruits, very early, it may not sometimes sound very positive for you. So my advice is that read work of that particular fellow. Tell how you are fitting into that. Remember, you need his association, his or her association. Okay, it's okay. Equally, requirement is of that person also, but that is later, right? That will be only known when you will offer how he should be choosing you or she should be choosing you for the academic collaboration. So first thing is that in very first email or very second email, do not blast that you are working on a paper, want to work on a paper. Give some time, do some social networking, go for some time of conference, try to send your work that this is what I'm doing, this is my Google Scholar profile, this is what I'm doing, I will be looking forward to. Give some time, do not do it in hurry. And sometimes the problem is that and people, what happened, I've seen people approaching, they say if my response is not very positive in first 1 or 2 email, they stop talking. No, that's not the way. You should continue. I had in my mind when I started discussing with that professor that I have to have one paper with him because that was my dream one point of time. But today I have multiple paper with him actually. So it's once trust building happens, it goes long way actually. So give time, be very specific, give clear value proposition. Do not offer something material in very first email, very first conversation. Listen, understand what the guy is talking about, what he has something to offer. Can you be fitted into that particular or not? That all you need to be doing it. I think that is the advice I can give here.
I just remember, this is a very old saying that Rome was not built in one day. So it
Yeah.
takes time to build everything, whether it is your network. You meet one professor in 3 different conferences because there are a lot of people who have asked in this, how do you meet people? How do you approach people? It doesn't happen in one time. When someone sees you repeatedly, then they strike a conversation. Oh, we met in so and so conference. So it's those little touches that you create in different ways that moves and carries on. Professor Devasri, some input from you.
Yeah, actually, I was also thinking when Professor Satish is answering this question brilliantly. So it is all about the value creation and also the value proposition you are giving. So it is all about a win-win. So you cannot, I mean, expect something in return in the very first mail. So
Yeah.
you should create a value for them and also for the academia. So when you are creating a value, there will be a value for you as well. So I totally
So
agree with you.
I want to add the analogy. Analogy may sound very off to some of you. It's like you are meeting your girlfriend first time and you are proposing, okay, I want to marry you on very first meeting. Right. So don't do that. Understand each other, give some time. So as I said, there is no analogy you can draw or chronology you can draw between these two. But that's how I look a relationship. Any relationship can only pay you off when you invest, give some time to it, understand each other, and you need to give time, to both sides, not only to one side actually.
Actually, I wanted to share one of my experiences here. So with regard to networking, so I started my research life early in 2014. So at that time, I was not at least publishing a single work, at least even a conference. So my very first mail to one of the greatest professors in finance, so that is for a collaboration. It basically has taken 3 years to publish a work with him. In 2017 only we publish a paper together. So it will take time, as Professor mentioned. So we have to be patient. So you cannot expect, a result within 2 to 3 mails. It is not possible. So it is all about value proposition and what you offer into the system and also what you offer into the collaborator. That is important. Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you. Thank you both. Last two questions I have picked up. The first question is, we usually are engaged with our academic work all the time. How do you dedicate time to networking through research works?
My answer is very simple. You need to organize your time. You will not have very exclusive time for networking and only for academia. Out of that 24 hours, you need to, steal some time, organize some time when you will invest into this academic networking also. I understand that, and people sometimes curse because I was busy in teaching, because I'm busy in this, I'm not able to network. Those all excuses are, I will say, just to satisfy yourself. They will not work. If you are serious about it, you will find some time and you will be able to, spare and write people, talk to them, connect. And now it is so easy actually with the help of IT. I remember some of the collaborator I met first time virtually online on Zoom only. I never met them in person until very last year when I visited USA and I had a chance to meet them. So please do not bring this phenomena of that you are busy or with one work or another. As an academician, you have three jobs to do: teaching, research, and administration, or what we call service. Right? Everybody, everywhere, any part of the world is doing this. Right? And that is why, as a PhD scholar, the best time is, and you might have reflected upon on my session also, when I was talking, I was emphasizing on early career or PhD scholar much. Why? Because that is the best time when you can network the most, right? You can start building your network the most, and the moment you get into momentum of teaching, you can just expand that network or leverage that network more. So please note that you can't find that Saturday or Sunday which you dedicate in your calendar and that never comes, right? Because you have another job to do on that Saturday and Sunday, either home affairs or maybe some professional things to do. You do it today only, right now only. If you feel like you have to connect with today, immediately after this session, do it right. That's my response will be. That's how you take networking as a phenomena of stealing time from your academic schedule and approaching people.
Actually, to add that point, so when so you are creating your job as your passion, so it will automatically find you the time. So you will organize in that manner. So academic networking, that is more important, as is stated by the professor. So that what we have to do, we have to be passionate about what we are doing.
Right.
Thank
And
you
it is
so
like
much.
and it is like we say that it is like once you experience it, you start believing it. Yes, it is giving me result. I am going to get some result, maybe today, not today, maybe tomorrow, and the tomorrow can be 1 year or after 2 years. So make a first move. As I said last point, make a first step. Just do it right now. This is the time. This is the right time. There is no other specific time you will find actually. Yeah.
Thank you. Last question for our session. Someone is saying that if our idea or our research is confidential, what will happen if we share it with our peers? We will lose our idea. We are very scared of, who to talk to about it when we have some idea, because sometimes, yes, researchers do lose their work.
Unless and until you are doing something so novel, I think we none of us is doing that. I will say like this. But even though this is simply a myth that people will steal my idea, they will copy my idea, I don't want to share it. And that's where, when you start with negative, and you remember I told you, start with this. If you have a documented thing, if the idea was mine, I have created it, I have created a first draft of it. Don't I have a record of it? Can't I prove later tomorrow if such issue arises that who was the original person, who was the first person who created it? It's all our myths which we believe that people are there, they will misuse it. Yes, I'm not ignoring those some people who are in academia also, which are of that. You need to be careful. They are flagged off always in the system, red flag like thing, and they are well known for those manipulative practices. So if you know that, check that. Right? Look at the profile. Like it's very important. Nowadays, networking is important, but right kind of people with whom you are networking is also equally important. And that is why actually the question has come. But don't worry about this idea of that confidential and somebody will steal it, copy it. It's not so easy to prove if the idea was not yours and to prove that it was mine. It's totally difficult, totally impossible, I will say, in today's world, digitized world, when you have everything on cloud, web, systems. Earlier were the days, gone are the days where such problem used to happen. Nothing is there. And when you network, good thing is, make sure whenever you're sending, write in that email that I'm attaching this is my creation, this is my stuff. Make sure that you emphasize very well so that tomorrow chain of document will come, chain of email conversation will automatically prove that yes, this was the idea given by Jayanta to Satish, which Satish is claiming today of his own. So it's very easy to nowadays you have software also to check it, who has sent that file, who has created it. Everything is so possible. So please don't think this way. Just go ahead, and yes, you should be careful enough when you approach people. That's what I said in very first meeting only, in very first email only. Don't send your paper, project, idea. Okay, take a time, understand the way person will respond. You will get an idea that what type of person he or she is. Okay, what type of, then try to check the reputation with their co-author. Sometimes you indirectly check informally that how the person is. Don't do that type of policing also. Don't think much of that. But I believe these issues are just manageable issue nowadays. Nobody can do that.
I know Sangeeta is not here. She is our regional publishing manager. I know that she has mentioned this a couple of times in her, presentations as well. That Emerald itself has received emails certain times during the publishing process saying that this is my work, and I just saw that it is being published, and they were able to prove that it is their work. Emerald has stopped that print. Emerald has made sure it has come off from our journals and it is not being shared. So it's not that even if someone publishes it, you can't stop it. You can get in touch with the publisher. You can always, if you can prove that this was your idea and you make sure that you have documented things that you're working on, even the publishers will help you if you're able to prove that as well.
Yeah, another point which I wanted to highlight is that one way through which you can protect your work is that never share your file as an attachment, right? Share it as a drive. So when you share it as a drive, maybe Google Drive or OneDrive, you have the ownership, who is the creator of that drive. So it's proof that who has, who owned it, whose work it was. So few practices which are very few, very common practices which you need to do it. First point is that never send it in first email that what you are throwing, what you are bouncing it with. And if even if you feel like later somebody has manipulated it because of power tactics, or somebody was more big boss in the field or than you, then as Disha has mentioned, publisher has all mechanism to resolve those issues also, and you make sure that your interests are protected well, actually.
Thank you so much, Professor Kumar and Professor Devasiri. That's an end from us, at least. I would like to invite just one second, Miss Kaushaliani, to please give the vote of thanks. Miss Kaushaliani, I think you're on mute. We can't hear you. Oh, you are unmuted, but we can't hear you. No, you're not audible.
You are not muted actually. So there is another problem, it seems.
Are you muted in some other on your computer? Let's try and increase your volume. If you have any earphones connected, just connect and disconnect them. No. No, no
So,
problem at all.
no problem at all. So on behalf of the Faculty of Management Studies and also Emerald Publishing, and on my own behalf, so I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to the resource person of today's session, so session number 7 of the Faculty Development Program, which is delivered by Professor Satish Kumar, an eminent speaker and number 1 in systematic literature review. So thank you very much for your wonderful and insightful session you delivered today, and we learn a lot from you. Thank you very much again. In addition to that, I would like to provide some sense of obligation to Professor Atula Jnanapala, who is the Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies, and also the key personalities involved in delivering this program, the organizing committee, including Sangeeta Menon, Disa Lakanpal, and also Ms. Chanika Ratnasiri, Dimuthu Vijayaratna, Kaushalya Nirvandika, all the other team members who involved in this faculty development program in making this event a great success. In addition to that, I would like to thank the audience, the heart and soul of today's occasion, the faculty members, the researchers, academics who are joined today worldwide in order to listen on academic networking. So last but not least, I would like to thank all the supporters who rendered the support, including our media partners, Lake House, and also the TV channels who supported us in making this event a great success. So we will meet up again during the next month with the session number 8 of the faculty development program. So we will send you the details with regard to the program soon. Thank you very much. And special thanks goes to Professor Satish Kumar for his wonderful session on academic networking. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Disha. Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. Same here, sir. Same here. Please, everybody, wishing everyone a very, very happy new year. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.